Hello there, and welcome to episode 4 of my playthrough of the 2018 Harebrained Schemes BattleTech game. Today I will be tackling Priority Mission 2 on Weldry. Now, from here on out, we're in the game proper. Tutorials are done and dusted, so it gets real from here. Though there are still a couple of things that I wasn't able to cover in the tutorials because I didn't have access to them. I can probably do that now as we go forward, so there might be a couple of things in this episode where I give a little bit of a more in-depth description than I usually would, just because it wasn't there in episode 3 when I played through the first priority mission, episode 3 being the final tutorial. So let's go ahead and launch contract. So here we are, first strike in orbit Weldry, and this is Alexander Madeira, who is our client's lead confidant. One of the main characters in this game. Weldry is one of the most notorious hellholes in the Oregon Reach. Everything about this place is hostile to human life, and for the past 3 years, Espinosa has used it as a dumping ground for his political enemies. Espinosa being the uncle of Lady Arano and the evil dictator. Speak of the devil is Kamea Arano. The Directorate has a prison complex on the planet's surface. The inmates call it the Icebox. So here we are, this is the Icebox. This map that we are going to play on is actually fantastic, so it's kind of good overview of it there. It's a holding facility for political prisoners, including high-value hostages, members of the founding families, spouses, sons and daughters. If we liberate the prison and set them free, we break Espinosa's leverage over the founding houses. The political map will change overnight. We don't know what the Directorate has been doing to our people in there, but we have to set them free, not just for political gain, but because they're our people and we need your help to do it. You've got an army, what do you need us for? Subtle, decisive action. I will lead an army in an all-out assault on the Directorate's primary spaceport. After I've drawn their attention, you will sneak in, attack the Icebox and liberate it. We'll set my uncle's hostages free and put the founding families in our debt, all in one fell swoop. Understood, my lance is ready to drop. I'll remain in radio contact with you after we hit the ground. Good hunting, Oculus. Give my uncle's troops the hell that they've earned. After the Directorate presence on the planet has been crushed and the Icebox has been liberated, we'll regroup to celebrate our victory. Okay, so all sounds pretty simple. We're basically just doing a prison break. So I'm just going to clear all these here just so I can discuss what I'll be bringing today, what mechs and what mech warriors. So in the first bay, I always load up the commander's mech, or whoever's commanding the lance. In this case it will be Oculus, who is our company commander. And you can see Oculus is now absolutely bang average. 5 out of 10 for all the skills. And he's picked up 2 of his 3 special abilities, whatever you want to call them, that he can pick up. I've already discussed on the tutorial Sensor Lock, and I think I actually did that in the 3rd episode, just to show you what that does. He also has now, though, multi-target, and that's very, very powerful in this game. I'm not sure what the meta will say about it, if it's the one that you really need to succeed. I try to be balanced in how I'm kind of building my lances, and that includes mech warriors as well. But having a couple of multi-targets does you no harm at all. It basically just means that you can fire it up to 3 different targets. And yeah, really, really powerful, especially if you've got mechs with a lot of ballistics and energy weaponry and missile hardpoints on there. You can just split between maybe the longer ranges and the shorter ranges, so it's very, very powerful. I don't think, unlike the tabletop game where you get a penalty to hitting other targets, especially if they're in your side arcs, I don't think that occurs in this one. I don't think it does anyway. I think it's just standard for, shooting target A and shooting target B. You'll just have to suffer whatever penalties naturally occur, as opposed to having penalties for, primary target and then switching quickly to secondary target and taking the penalty on the secondary. I don't think it works like that. But that's Oculus anyway. You'll see actually just quickly that the 4 mech warriors that I started with have all now got at least 2 of these skills. So I'll talk through those very quickly, or the new ones anyway, that I haven't been able to show. And yeah, that's I've done a hell of a lot of grind since I last recorded. It's a few days ago now that I did the final tutorial, for the simple reason that because I bin all the the stock mech warriors that come with the game, I have to build everybody up from raw recruit. So that means I probably have to do like 3 or 4 times more grind than you usually would at this point in the game, because you really don't want to go into this mission with terrible mech warriors. This mission can be quite harsh, so you need mech warriors that can at least shoot. So you'll see that I've tried to get them at least to like 4 or 5s on the skills tree. I've also picked up other mech warriors as well, but I'm not going to discuss them yet. At some point, I'll do like a stock taking video, and I'll talk about the kind of characteristics of the new mech warriors that I've picked up, but I'm not going to do that now. As well as the grind as well that I've been doing, that also gives me the massive like advantage of being able to pick up C-bills and a lot of really decent equipment. So I'll quickly talk through the kind of the mech builds that I've got here, and you'll see this blackjack is actually now running as almost like a Star League blackjack. It's absolutely amazing. It's got 2 LB2Xs on there, which are the LBX weaponry is some of my favourite weaponry in the game. I love it so much because it's always like, the stock variants are always like 1 ton lighter than like the AC equivalent. They're basically like, quickly before I go into this, an AC weapon is basically like 1 shell that shoots out of the autocannon and hits, hopefully hits whoever you're targeting. The LB weaponry works in the same vein, like it's similar kind of ranges, and it's like shells, it's ballistic weaponry, but it basically shoots as a shotgun. So you get like this like scatter effect, and it basically strips armor off mechs as opposed to doing 1 point of damage. But why they're really powerful is because, like I said, they all weigh a ton less than the regular AC variant. So an AC2 will weigh like 6 tons. I'm kind of guessing. I think it is 6 tons. I think that is the case, because I've managed to get an extra laser on here, which I'd actually had to drop 1 Erm laser, and I've got a little bit of heat management on now, so it must be, because obviously 2 LB, 2 XEs, 1 ton lighter than a regular AC2 each. That gives me 2 more tons to play with, and that means it makes a hell of a difference, especially in like medium mechs. Like having those extra 2 tons can be an absolute godsend. So you still kind of get the same impact as an AC2 in terms of its damage. It's just you don't get that 1 point of 25 damage. It just does scatter damage. You still get really good stability, like damage occurring. It's actually, I think it's less heat than a regular AC cannon. I think an AC2 off the top of my head does 4 heat. I don't have any in play at the moment, so I can't go back and check, but I think it is 4. So just all in all, like really, really powerful weapons for especially like medium mechs. They're just really great. So yeah, you'll see me probably rocking quite a lot of these, and I managed to get these 2 LB2Xs just randomly, I think, from one of those like abandoned like systems where some dude must have been selling it like out of the back of his car. There's no like local government there. There are no, it must be like a guns and ammo shop or something on this like desert that just happened to have a bit of Star League Lost Tech hanging around. Speaking of Star League Lost Tech, see, I've also got 2 Erm Lasers. Now, these are some of the most powerful weapons in the game. Extended range medium weaponry is very much Lost Tech. It's something that I really associate with like clan technology, which in the inner sphere at this time doesn't exist, because the clans are right out on the periphery, in like the northern periphery, and they haven't invaded yet. So if you are wondering where the Mad Cats and the vultures are, they're a certain type of mech, then they don't exist in this like particular world yet. They will in 25 years, but not now. But Erm lasers, or even extended range L lasers, is a technology that came from the Star League that's basically been lost, but you can find them occasionally in this game. And early on, there's a really, really useful system to visit called Kimmy, which, if you know where Weldry is like quite centrifugal to this game. It seems to a lot seems to happen here. Like the game guides you there a lot. Like they'll always, if you're in a surrounding system, you'll always be able to kind of jump to Weldry to do a job there. So I don't know why. It's just that's just the way it is. But just left of Weldry, there is a system called Kimi that's equally, or if not more important than the other than Weldry itself. So Weldry's pretty good. I think you can get some decent heat management here sometimes. But Kimi has got like an attribute tag saying former Star League presence. And if you go there, you can get random spawns on things like pulse weaponry, ER weaponry, like the Erm Laser there. You can get gout rifles. And I just got superbly lucky because I only visited it twice. Like I did like a circle, like went there once, went to a couple of surrounding worlds, went back again, so I got 2 spawns and managed to get these ERM lasers, which are just so powerful. You can see they are hotter, they run hotter. So they do 8 more heat, they do 20 heat than a regular M laser, but they do 10 more damage. And you see there the range is significantly better. So if we go to a regular M laser, you can see it's 180 to 270 max. With this, it's 270, 360 max. So that combined with the LB2X weaponry is really powerful because they've got, although the LB2X weaponry can shoot, longer distance, but those two combined can basically do really significant damage from afar to an enemy. And then I've got the 2 regular M lasers on there, which I'll only really be using if I'm tanking or if we're not jumping, because we'll be running pretty hot with this blackjack. Heat efficiency is heat sinking 30, alpha striking 68, but do keep in mind that I'm probably not going to be jumping and using M lasers, so you can knock 24 off that 68, just in regards like how I'm going to be usually doing it. Saying that, still not heat effective. Like there will be times where I probably will only be able to use the LB weaponry if we're running a little bit hot, because that runs so cool. But that's the thing really, like you just have to, you get into position like up on high where you do a jump and then you maybe have to walk a little bit, do a little bit of cooling, and then you can basically rain holy hell down from up on high on the enemy, and this blackjack is very good at that and can do it from a very, very good distance. So next up we got our 2 tank mechs, which today first up we'll bring the Shadowhawk. This is Vixen, and in Vixen today I think we'll put Vortex in Vixen. Vortex has he's also got the multi target, so I won't go through that again obviously, but he's also picked up a skill of Bulwark. Bulwark's like a defensive skill. It's very, very good, especially for mechs that you put into tanks that need those defensive bonuses because they're taking so much flak. And I'll just read this out. It's passive. So cover and guarded states. So that's when we kind of brace, like hunker down, or when we go into cover like in trees and things like that. Both provide 40% damage reduction. That's amazing. Rather than 20% damage reduction. Cover and guarded together provide 60%. So that's incredible. If you're ever in trouble, you basically can just run into the trees or into like building ruins, press your hunker down button, and you basically get 60% reduction on damage, which is superb. So if you do get in trouble with tanks, there is kind of a get out there if you've got a mech warrior who has that Bulwark skill. And combining that with multi-target is, for me, like 2 of the most powerful skills in the game, because you've got that offensive ability and that defensive ability for somebody who is in a big tank mech with lots of decent weaponry. Now, the Shadowhawk, still rocking the AC5, which isn't really ideal, but it's really difficult to get an AC10 onto a Shadowhawk to work properly because so much of the spare tonnage or free tonnage is given over to the engine. So it's have to be an AC5. To kind of counteract that a little bit though, to make it a little bit less like horrible in terms of not being able to alpha strike, you can't, I can't use my support weaponry and my AC5 together because the AC5 have minimum range penalties. But I've countered that slightly by managing to pick up an extended range S laser again in Kimi, and that's basically, hopefully, will mitigate it slightly, because you can see there the minimum distance or penalty on the AC5 is 90 meters. But the actual optimal range on the ERS laser is 150 meters. So I've got that 60 meters to play in. So if I can find that like sweet spot, I should be able to shoot with everything. Unlike a regular S laser, which has got 90 meter range, so you literally can't do it then. Like the 2 weapons just do not complement each other. You have to use one or the other. So that just gives me a little bit more of a sweet spot to play with. Spoken about the Shadowhawk before, but one of its major advantages is its stock melee attack. It's the best melee attack medium mech in the game. Does that 85 total damage, which is just makes it into an absolute bad boy. So it's naturally a tank, even though traditionally you associate Shadowhawks with jumping. It's a 55 ton mech. There are kind of three mechs in this game. Not just in this game, it's kind of like Star League era, early BattleTech. There are three 55-ton mechs that are all very similar to each other. There's the Griffin, the Wolverine, and the Shadowhawk. They're all 55 tons. They all traditionally have jump jets. Personally, out of those three, I think the Wolverine's the superior mech. Griffin's also very good, and the Shadowhawk's not that good. It's kind of weird. It's got weird mismatch in weaponry. Not saying it's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's the one, and this game's different because you can swap the loadouts to make it suit your style of play. So there's not that much difference between like a regular Shadowhawk, a regular Griffin, and a regular Wolverine. Apart from, well, a Griffin doesn't traditionally take ballistic points, so you can kind of put more weaponry on a Griffin, I believe, off the top of my head. I've got notes here actually on it, and no, actually that's not true. They all have usable tonnage of 28 tons. There's one difference to that. There is a Griffin 2N, which I'm thinking of. The 2N's a Star League Griffin. It's one of the best mechs in this game, and that has 33 tons of free space. So that's incredible. 5 extra tons on a medium mech for weaponry. It's just insane. I don't know how that works, but it's amazing. Anyway, yeah, so that's the Shadowhawk today. Got 10 SRM missiles on there. I've got one of the plus variants on the SRM4, so a little bit extra damage, and an Erm Laser. Also got the cockpit mod on the Shadowhawk, so that gives us one free life if we take a headshot or we get knocked over. So that's good for Vortex because he'll be taking a lot of flak today in this mech. It'll be soaking up a lot of the damage. We've got 2 arm mods on there as well and a gyro, so I'm starting to find that those mod equipments that I can stick on the mech to give them that little bit of an extra punch. Next up we got our secondary tank. This will be Trajan the Centurion, and we'll put Darkstar, who is our Regan pilot, or mech warrior. I said pilot, he's got the piloting skill there. Darkstar will probably be coming on all the priority missions because he is an Oregon, and it's their story, so it kind of fits that he's going to have a big involvement in this. He too has got the multi-target, so I'm going to turn him into a bit of a secondary tank operative. So he'll be the more sophisticated tank operator, and he has got the piloting skill or attribute or whatever you want to call it, special ability of shore footing. This is passive, so mechs piloted by this mech warrior gain 1 bonus evasion charge after moving, can exceed the unit's maximum. If the move is not a sprint, jump or charge to melee, the mech also gains entrenched. That's really strong actually. 50% stability, damage reduction, so that's shore footing's actually very, very strong. You can get, it's because it's passive, you maybe take it for granted a little bit, but in mechs that are need that little bit of extra maneuverability, it can work really, really well, especially in tanks, because you've got that. If you just do a regular walk, you get that extra defensive boon. So yeah, just powerful, all the skills in this game are good, but that one, I do like that one. I think it might get overlooked as well because the multi-strike one is just so obvious what you do with that, as is the sensor lock, but that one, sure footing, is really quite powerful. In terms of weaponry for the Centurion today, we have got another 10 racks of 10 SRM missiles, so that's 20 SRMs we're firing combined with the tanks. That's really nice. Another Star League LB10X this time, Star League Special, bit of lost tech. So that's the AC10 equivalent. Again, love it. Love LBX weaponry. It's 1 ton lighter than a regular AC10. Got an S laser on there in case he needs to do a bit of punchy. Get a bit of extra support weaponry after he's done a physical attack, and a regular Erm laser. So he's got a really, really nice level of firepower there. So he's 205 for medium mech's really nice. So doing very, very well. I like it as well that he's got such like both him and both Trajan and Vixen have got like a really nice mixture of weapons, like energy weapons, missile weapons, ballistic weapons. So really kind of suits my style of play. And then finally we've got the Vindicator Bugbear, the Vindicator 1R, and that will be piloted by Code today. Code has the sensor lock ability and he has sure footing, so we know what both of those are, so no need to go over them again. All my mech warriors are pretty good now. I think Darkstar Darkstar and Code are just slightly behind Vortex, who's slightly behind Oculus. But they're all, for this stage in the game, that's really quite healthy. I think if you kept the stock mech warriors, you've probably got a lot higher skills. But I don't like that. I like to build my own like recruits up. Better for like narrative play as well. When you're doing like your head canon, you get your characters and make them from where you want them to be from. For instance, like Darkstar is an Oregon, and I want an Oregon to be part of the priority missions because it's their campaign really. Although you may be able to do that with the stock characters, their bios may say that they're in Oregon. I'm not too sure. I've never looked at them. I've never used them. As soon as I got this game, I was like, nope, don't want any of them. Want to build my own. So, Bugbear, we'll talk about him very quickly and then I'll get into the mission. Bugbear is really our Lost Tech mech. Just got some beautiful weaponry on here. We've got the Snub PPC. So this is like a regular PPC. Apart from, it basically shoots much like the LBX weaponry as like a scattergun. And I really like that. I love the Snub PPCs. Like the LBX weaponry, it weighs 1 ton less than a regular PPC, so that extra ton, very nice. The range isn't as good as a PPC, so if you're putting this on a mech, you're basically turning it into a skirmisher mech as opposed to like a finisher mech. Lots and lots of heat management on there. You can see we've got 2 heat banks and 3 regular heat sinks, so heat efficiency looks amazing. It's really not. 45 heat sinking with jump jets as well, and an Alpha Strike 75, so we're going to have to be careful about heat. The reason why we're running so hot is because I've got 2 impulses on here. Again, I told you I was lucky in Kimmy. 2 Erm Lasers, 2 pulse lasers, and an extended range S laser as well. Really, really great finds. The impulse weaponry is brilliant. It does 40 damage, so it does 15 more than a regular M laser. Exactly the same range as a regular M laser. The payoff is 2 negatives. One, it weighs 2 tons instead of 1, and it does 20 heat instead of 12. But you get a special power with the impulse weaponry, and that's that you get an inbuilt -2 to hit, which is good. Remember, minus is a good in BattleTech, positives are bad. So it just makes the weapons very, very accurate. So even though you're expending heat, the chances are you'll get a much better percentage to hit. That 40 damage as well, like if you're doing 2 points of 40 damage on on an opposing mech, and I've got the Snub PPC as well, remember, which we will be able to Alpha Strike if we're not jumping, then it's going to play holy hell to the opposition, and I just love that build. I've played with it a little bit. Oh, sorry, there is a double heat sink on here I forgot to mention as well, which I managed again to pick up in Kimmy. So yeah, I played it a couple of times and it does run very, very hot, but if you are smart with it, you can just do pretty catastrophic levels of damage to the opponent. So just loving it. It's like a brilliant skirmisher mech. I'd say like the Bugbear in this is very much a skirmisher. The Blackjack's very much like my ranged attack, or sniper if you want to. Well, no, not sniper because it's got LBX weaponry, not AC weaponry. But yeah, all combined, I just love this little lance that I've managed to formulate. The only thing is that I'm not playing it probably how you should play it because I don't have a finisher mech. So what I should have done really, I would have probably been better to keep the AC-10 on the Centurion to do that 1 point of 60 damage to like it's the big gun in the field. But I was so desperate to get like LBX weaponry on the field because I love it. I've basically just decided to bring a lance that strips armor and arms and everything else off mechs. So don't expect the best salvage in this particular game or in this particular mission, because I have no finisher mechs. I can't really kind of hone in and just, I'll do a precision shot on this place to maybe destroy its second leg and get the max salvage. This game's just going to be a matter of stripping armor off and just bludgeoning the enemy to death. I don't usually play like that. This is just because I want to get LBX weaponry on the field. So, enough talk. Let's go and deploy. And I'm going to grab a drink before I do this. There we are. So this mission is... I wouldn't say it's hard. It's like a moderate difficulty for where we're at in the game currently. You can get into trouble, I think, if you're a new player to this. You might make an error right off the bat, which is quite understandable. But if you played it before, I mean, I'm cheating because I've played through this game before, so I kind of know what to expect. But there's like a fork in the road very early on, and if you take the wrong fork, you end up in a lot of trouble because you're going to be like absolutely smashed by turrets and vehicles. And you've got to keep in mind that we only have medium mechs on the field at the moment, so we can't take that much of a punch.
Command interface.
And there you can see the fork there. So, Darius, there are 2 entrances into the complex, Commander. Intel says that each is defended by a series of elevated turrets. I'm also seeing an LRM emplacement between the 2 checkpoints. Battlemech defences should be practically nil, as predicted. Lady Rano's preemptive strike has already drawn the prison's standard garrison away. I'm seeing heavy vehicles and turrets on my screen, nothing that you can't handle. Clear away the opposition and capture the prison. Lady Rano and the Restoration Army will take care of the rest. Good hunting, Commander. Right, so here we are. We'll have a look at this beautiful map first. It really is beautiful. So here's the prison, which is gorgeous. Look at that. Huge monstrosity of a prison. I kind of wish... One thing I'd critique on this game is they never reuse the priority mission maps, which I think they should. Like, you could have your, like, team starting from over here or something, or, like, in the complex on, like, a random mission, and we don't know what it is, but that's fine, because it just gives you, like, a completely different dynamic to the, like, you get lots of places to hide behind, but... yeah, just one of the more interesting maps that they do. Just looks fantastic. It looks very like bleak as well. Like there's the snow and it's pretty miserable like terrain here. We are in tundra. You can see that gives us a little bit of a bonus to heat sinking, which is certainly going to be good for Code because he's running hotter than hell with all that lost tech weaponry. So again, this is your crossroads. Now, because the first gate is here, you see a gate here. Your first instinct will probably be, oh, let's just go down and walk directly to the gate. Well, that would be an error, because if you actually make your way down here, you'll find multiple tanks, and the turrets, I believe, are on these structures here, and these structures here. Instead, it's much wiser to take this left-hand road, because yes, you still get tanks thrown at you, but not all the turrets can get you, and you can basically hide in these trees, or take the defensive bonuses from these trees. So let's go ahead and just sprint everyone up here in the first instance.
Got it. On my way.
Now we're actually going to split the force. I've said that we're not going to bring everyone down this like little gully here. We're actually going to bring our jumping mechs up on high, because in the first instance we'll be wanting to destroy these 2 turret generators to take out. I think did I say it was the LRM missiles. Then we've got, annoyingly, there are 4 turret generators here that are all hooked up to the 4 turrets on these pylons here. So you've got a choice really. You can either just, it doesn't really matter, you can actually just go for the turrets themselves if you want. You've still got 4 targets, so whatever. And you can't see which turret is hooked up to which turret generator either, so you can choose which way you want to do it. It makes very little difference. It just depends where you are and what your range is like. Just in terms of the narrative today as well, we kind of got the preamble. We are here to liberate this prison. It's kind of the revolutionary way that you always break the prisons first. It happened in the French Revolution in 1789. One of the first places that the revolutionaries stormed was the Bastille in Paris. Although kind of revision history now says that there weren't any political prisoners in the Bastille. It was just like they had a couple of like people in there for mental health illness and just like random like maybe beggars and stuff like that. Actually, and that's probably true. I mean, I'm not going to argue that because the historians done the research on that. But I think that the people that stormed the Bastille, it was the prison thing was part of it. Or getting the prisoners was part of it if they were in there, if they thought they were in there, which they weren't by the sounds of it. But what you are doing is actually attacking the symbol of state, right? So, like, if you can say to a state, we're going to liberate your prisoners, and there's nothing you can do about it, you are really, like, you know, taking the baton or the, you know, the battle axe to their like authority, because you're saying your enemies are our friends and we're going to liberate them. There's nothing you can do about it now, and that's exactly what's happening here. Lady Arano plays this game where she's very much like, oh, freedom, la la la, but she knows what she's doing. She's not daft. Anyway, back to the game. So we're going to blow these turrets up first, so we can see what the damage is on our heat management here. We have 85% on everything here, so we'll alpha strike and see what we get. And you see heat management's actually pretty good. Keep in mind we are 15% better than we usually would be, and we haven't jumped. But as an alpha strike, that's fantastic. That means that I can, without jumping, if I'm just walking, I can effectively do 3 alpha strikes in 3 turns, and there's no ammo to worry about, and our percentages should be very good, especially for the end pulses.
Roger.
So there goes the first turret generator.
Flattered that one.
We will just get Oculus now, I think, to hopefully, yeah, he should be able to destroy the next one. I think we'll alpha strike with him as well, just to see heat, and you can see his heat levels there are pretty severe. So what I'll do is I'll actually turn the I'll turn one Erm laser off, just to so we're not burning too much heat there.
Engaging target.
That's the second one down. One of your aims in this game really should be to try to get the what I would term like the Star League mechs. So if you can get your mechs to be equipped with LBXs, UACs, pulse weaponry, extended range weaponry, you get a huge advantage. And one thing I've seen in this game, and it comes up quite often, is people moaning and complaining about the, like, they'll say things like,
This is the Warden. We have an intruder alert. All combat units, prepare to repel hostile.
He's a bit of a cartoon villain, isn't he? Stereo, yeah, I was saying, people will say, like, oh, it really annoys me that you can only bring 1 lance, and then sometimes you get like 2, even sometimes 3 lances thrown at you. How do you deal with that? Well, that's because they're not playing the game correctly. I've seen a lot of people who play like that will just not understand how to kind of build the lances, and especially how to use like Lost Tech equipment, because believe you me, if you use Lost Tech equipment in this game properly, you're unstoppable. And you can easily do it with a 4 mech lance. Anyway, back to the game. So now I was hoping there I could get my extended range S laser in, but it's just out of range, unfortunately. So even though it's actually because I'm on a like an elevation here, I thought that was much closer than it really is. If we kind of go to the side there, you can see it's significantly farther away, so that's fine. So we've got a Scorpion here with an AC-5 and a machine gun, Bulldog with a large laser and SRM-4s. So I think we're going to target the Bulldog. And softened it up enough, hopefully, that Darkstar can finish this chap off. You should just be able to shoot with, yeah, it should be the LBX, and that should be enough to finish him off.
Firing.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, the large lasers on vehicles can be pretty nasty because they do 40 points of damage. And yeah, sorry, I don't know why. I mean, that or the AC-5 still do pretty nasty levels of damage, but I just look at the other vehicle there. It had an AC-5 and a machine gun, and I'm not worried about... yeah, an AC-5 and a machine gun. I'm not worried about the machine gun. And you can see we're taking turret flak here, but we are in the trees, and remember we've got Vortex's special like defensive abilities. He's a very, very powerful mech warrior. So with those 2 skills, multi-target and bulwark. So what to do? Let's bring you down. Ooh, look at that! We can do another alpha strike. This will probably be enough to take this. What should we take here? Yeah, let's take the Scorpion out. We should be able to, hopefully. Oh, maybe not. No. Very close. You see where that weaponry, like, if we'd have hit with the other pulse, we would have taken that out without a doubt. But Oculus can do the honours and finish this chap off. I think we'll just do that, I think.
Engaging
Conserve
target.
some heat there.
Enemy unit destroyed.
You can see we've got other vehicles coming up here on the like our right flank, but that's fine. They can't really get very close to us because the topography is all wrong for vehicles. Like they've obviously got tracks and wheels, so they can't maneuver like we can as a big stompy mech robot. Taking a little bit of stability damage there with Vixen, but if we move, that will mitigate. Ah, look, there we are, you see. If we look at that now, we're in that sweet spot. So that means we can fire now the ERS laser and the AC-5 together, which actually technically now turns that Shadowhawk into a proper tank. So let's go and do that. Oop. Those prison gates are on either side are going to be your best point of entry into the complex. Blow them down and make your way inside, or jump the walls if your lance is capable of it. Your call. So we'll take this striker out next. That Shadowhawk's fantastic. That ERS, ERS laser has made such a difference.
Standing by.
And now we can basically, let's just go and we'll soften one of these turrets up. We'll soften this light turret up. Nearly destroyed it. You see the power of the the LB-10X there. But we will get some flak damage now from these the turrets, but that should be all right. It's usually just AC2s, so they don't do that much damage to us. And especially if they're shooting like that. I think it was 3 out of 4 misses.
Holding firm.
So I'm just going to move here with Oculus. We're just going to finish this first turret off. Again, whether you target the turrets or the turret generators, it doesn't matter. There are 4 of each. So do as you wish in that respect. Can we get our... Yeah, we can. We can get that other perfect alpha strike there. I'm just checking my ammo here. Yeah, we'll be fine.
Affirmative. One less turret. Ready for orders.
And I think we'll just sprint in now. Hopefully, we can draw some flak with Trajan there, because he's got lots of evasion picks.
Yes, Commander.
And... Right, let's just have a think here. Ah, okay. We're going to go... Yeah, we'll go in the trees there, get a bit of a defensive bonus. And I'm actually just going to... I don't think we'll be able to do a full third alpha strike. It doesn't matter anyway, because we're not in impulse range, so that's fine. So I will soften up, I think, the Bulldog here. Or we could soften up the turret generator, because I think that one will be linked to one of these two. What have we got here? Oh, no, we'll soften up the Bulldog. That's an L laser and 2 SRM4s. These are very well armoured vehicles, so they take a little bit of a decent punch. L laser there, that's fine. I'm happy for them to actually attack my my jumpy mechs, because they tend to kind of be on the periphery of the like field anyway, so they don't usually draw that much fire.
On my way.
Now is that the... Oh, that's the Scorpion, which is annoying. I think instead I'm actually going to blow this turret generator up here.
Taking the shot.
That's one turret down. There's one... Oh, sorry, one out of these 2 is down. I think it's that one on the far side, and then we've got one left. Oculus, yeah, you can go and... I don't think we'll be able to finish this Bulldog off, but should hurt it for sure. Nah. Just softening it up, just for the old... for the tanks, just to finish off when they get around this corner. But I'm actually going to... Yeah, I'll just take that other turret generator out, so that'll be the final turret. There it goes.
Target destroyed. Yes, boss.
And you now should theoretically be able to finish off this Bulldog.
Move order received.
Yeah. And we can Alpha Strike this time, because last time we only shot with the snub PPC. It's the impulses that really, you know, burn you alive in this one. So
Vehicle down.
the snub PPC generates a lot of heat, but 2 impulses is very, very hot. And that was, yeah, He just went. He should have kept away with his AC-5. Instead, he got greedy. So we'll just stand on you now, I think.
Confirmed.
Stomping vehicles always makes me laugh. It always reminds me of the first time they tested a BattleTech. Like the pilot that they had, or the mech warrior that they suppose they were called mech warriors then because they didn't exist. But they didn't really know how mechs, if they'd work. They were like, we've got this idea, but is it really going to, you know, is it going to change warfare? We don't know. It could be like one of history's great failures if it doesn't work. So obviously what they did was to do lots and lots of testing just to see what the situation was. And in the initial run, they tested it with tanks, as you'd expect. And it must have been quite an hilarious sight. They effectively... it was several tanks against one battle mech. The battle mech was the Mackie, which is the first mech, and the battle mech just ended up like playing soccer with the tanks because the tanks just couldn't react to it. Like if you think how a tank moves or a vehicle moves and its turret moves, a mech is just moves like us, right? Like it's got like almost like a muscle in it. It's kind of complex. I won't talk about that now, but mechs are like human beings. They're kind of structured like that, so it can move its like arms and legs just like we do. Obviously a little bit more limited, but they can do, you know, like normal human movements. So if you think about that, like just imagine like a giant, like if it was a soldier with a giant gun that was way bigger than a tank, it just went up to the tanks and started kicking them around, flipping them up in the air, and that was it. That was kind of the signal for the military-industrial complex that they were onto a real winner. And that's what changed warfare. So whenever I see in this game the like the huge advantages you get from like against tanks and anything on the ground like that, I'm always reminded of that first glorious test with the battle mechs. Where am I here? Right, I'm running my my team up here just so we can get into position before we pop this prison gate. So get everyone in position. We're doing pretty well thus far. I don't think we've taken much damage at all. When we get into this prison, we will be set upon by a lance of not very nice prison guards. I don't remember it being too difficult though. I can't remember what is thrown against us, but I think it's just like a lance, a few medium mechs, light mech, something like that. If you've played this mission though and you're beaten up by the time you get here, I'm pretty sure it's because you took this road here. Always take that like back road, and then you can basically decide where you want to go. You can either go in through this door here or through this door. You can go through both if you so wish, but it doesn't really matter.
What's up, boss?
Right, let's start wrecking this prison gate. We won't use anything with ammo here though. Just observe as much as we can. Lovely, that looks lovely.
Fresh real estate available.
And then we'll just bring, I think, everyone into the complex here. Oh, here we are. Excellent work, Commander. The prison is ours. All directorate personnel to action stations. God damn it, this is not a drill. Looks like you've got more company. I'm seeing heat signatures coming online in the prison mech bay. The warden must have had a lance in reserve.
Sit tight, Commander. Lady Arano is aware of the situation.
Ooh.
Reinforcements are on the way.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We got a special visitor in this mission. Good little note there. If you do destroy a building, or in this case the gate, you do get like a point of like cover. So you can see Bugbear is actually sat in that cover. That little building icon there means that he gets the defensive bonus. If you're in the trees, you'll get a little tree icon. And something's shooting at us. I don't know what that is. Something's just picked around that corner. Let's have a look. Oh, we've got 4 mechs, and it's a Jenner, and he has got no armor. So, good luck, Mr. Jenner. Yeah, he's not going to last long at all. 2 mechs here, and then one behind this wall. So probably that might be an LRM spammer. This is a scout mech, which is going to be toast. It's got a few evasion pips though. So what I'm going to do in the first instance, we'll play this a little bit cheeky. I'm going to run. No, sorry, I'm going to walk or move regular. With Oculus here.
Full throttle.
Oh, we can't. Okay. I was going to do a sensor lock, but don't know why that. Oh, did I just brace then? I think I messed up. It doesn't matter. He's only got 2 evasion pips. I'm not thinking. I'll tell you why I wasn't thinking, because I was looking at this. I was looking. Oh, there was a target there, and I was like, "What's that?" And it's the other prison gate. So
Yes,
yeah,
Commander.
got distracted. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we'll get in. Code can do the first attack on this guy.
Targeting for an
Yeah.
armored strike.
Ouch. Hit by an impulse when you've got no armor. Not
Calling
good.
connection on that one.
So that got rid of at least one of the pips that Oculus would have gotten rid of. And we are getting LRM spammed by whatever is behind that wall there. So it might be something like a javelin.
Receiving you. Ready for order.
Vortex. I'm just trying to keep them a little bit like shielded from whatever these two are. Yeah, let's
Coordinates
just
received.
try this.
Acknowledged.
Ooh, lovely shot. I think Darkstar is about to pop this chap. It's important we do pop him as well because he is spotting for that LRM.
Position confirmed.
This should be him. There he goes.
Fight harder, damn you! We can't let this prison fall!
So he's sneaking with whatever this is. Sneaking around this, like, into our left flank. Ooh, for the Oregon people. Ooh, I think she's in a Kintaro as well, isn't she? Love the Kintaro. Let's have a look. She's standing mightily close to that artillery strike. It's very brave. Yes, it is a Kintaro. I don't think they quite... the mech designs in this game are beautiful, but the Kintaro looks a little bit boring. Like, it's a much more interesting mech than that. It's not nice, but I don't know. It just looks a little bit meh. Regardless of how it looks, though, look at those armaments. That's 18 SRMs, 2 Erm Lasers, and LRM5 is brutal. Traditionally, that's what the Kintaro does. It's basically just an SRM spam. It's hellish on the battlefield. Yeah, just a glorious, glorious mech. So, what we're going to do here... these guys are screwed because we're going to get them in a real kill zone. Kintaro's coming on this flank here, and then we can basically just cut them apart on this right flank. So I think what I'll do in the first instance, I think 4 evasion pips is safe, and we've not taken any damage with Oculus yet, so we'll do this.
Engaging jump jet.
Jump in. Ooh, and it's a Jaeger mech. Nice. We've got here 2 AC5s, 2 AC2s, 2 Erm Lasers. Pretty well armoured, makeshift. It's got 75% of its usual armour, so it's not too bad. So let's soften you up. One bad thing about this for us is that he has a lot of range with those AC2s and AC5s, so we've got to be careful. But we'll fire with... You see, that's the power of the ERM laser. We can still stay back, get those evasion pips, and we can hit from range. Doesn't really apply against the Jaeger mech, because the Jaeger mech can actually fire back at us with that AC5 and AC2s, but the point still stands. It means we don't have to go too close, therefore we can't take physical attacks and things like that, which is always good with a Blackjack, because it cannot take physical attacks, or give physical attacks. And we've amazingly broken into this guy's like armour already, so... Oh, sorry, into his structure already. And Lady Arano's cutting them up as well with that SRM. Ooh, that was nasty. Ouch, we took, what was that? That's a Centurion. So we took an AC-10 hit there. That was horrible. We took an AC-10 hit to the... Ouch. Oh my word. On the right arm. So we're going to have to be very, very careful with Vixen here.
Standing by.
So what we'll do, we can still fight. I'm still comfortable to fight, but I just want the... keep our right arm out of trouble. So we'll just look with our left-hand side here. So let's do this. That's good as well. Get some nice percentages on that. Really have to get rid of that AC-10 though. That was horrible. Luckily, because we are hiding our right arm there, it wasn't too bad. I'm actually going to pop Darkstar out there and hopefully make it into a more like pleasing target for them to go for, and maybe just leave the Shadowhawk alone. And we've taken out the left arm there, but that's the wrong arm, unfortunately. We really want to be targeting the right arm.
Receiving you.
And Bugbear, you can hopefully go and finish this guy off.
On it.
Excellent.
Enemy down.
Jägermeister. Oh, what? And that's more damage. Awful. Leave my Shadowhawk alone. This is terrifying. What else? We've been hit on the other side now as well. Okay, you can just make for the woods. If in doubt, make for the woods. We've still got technically a lance in operation because we've obviously got Lady Urano with the SRM brutal spam there. Yeah, don't ever be afraid in this game to retreat. You can, you know, run away and live to fight another day. I can also, if I potentially can come back and fight if the situation, you know, requires it. We're not really going to need to do that here though. And we're just going to close in for the kill now. This is tactically in this game what you want. You want to get this like a kill zone. If we kind of go up on high here, you can see we've got all flanks covered and this guy right in the middle. And we've got like all the terrain in our advantage. We've got a water source. We've got like a little bit of cover here. He's got a cover here, but he's not using it. Just Lady Urano can sneak around here. So this guy is well and truly in trouble. We've got ammo explosions galore there.
Enemy mech. Critical
So that's
damage
his big
detected.
weapons out. So he's really, really
Moving to
for
position.
the graveyard, this chap. And he's hanging on by a thread.
Critical hit.
Code will get the final kill. We'll jump in. We'll jump into the water here.
Oh, yeah.
Just use
we
the snub PPC, I think. That should be enough. There he goes.
Hostile removed.
And Lady Urano she's not wasting time. She's going right in for the kill here. So whatever this is some kind of LRM spam. You can just stay back there, my friend. You've done your job for today. Done a very good job as well. But leave this to the undamaged. Don't want to risk losing any of that lovely lost tech. So
No
yeah,
shooting, just running.
no need to get him involved. And she kind of like stayed back a little bit there, which was probably wise. Because I don't know what this is behind here. It's some kind of LRM spam. I mean, I don't think it'll be anything too big. I don't think it's like a catapult. I think there was only like LRM, like maybe an LRM 10 or LRM 15 hitting us.
Receiving you. Commander.
No, we'll actually just go there, I think. Pop out on the next turn and finish this guy off, probably. Oh, and it's a trebuchet. And it's got terrible armour. That SRM spam is absolutely brutal. Ooh, they've hurt, they've got into Lady Urano's armour there. I keep saying armour. They've got past the armour and they've got into the structure.
Confirm. Firing.
There goes his right arm and right torso.
Take that.
Side torso injures the pilot as well. So this guy is nearly out of action. This might be enough.
Roger that.
Ooh, leg destroyed and center torso destroyed. So there we are. That went pretty well. The prison is ours. Thanks for the assist, Lady Urano. I'll have Samiri bring us down for the victory celebration. There will be no celebrating, not after what I saw out there. Gods, Darius, the things the Directorate has done to these people. Kamea, I need to meet you in the prison hospital right now. What is it? Better that you see for yourself. And Kamea, prepare yourself. This isn't going to be easy.
Mission successful.
$1.766 million Seabills, which is very nice. No secondary objectives there. I am making a play for all the secondary objectives, but there were none in that mission. Yeah, that was nasty what happened to... I mean, not so bad. We did too much damage on the left-hand side, but that right arm got absolutely pasted by that AC-10. I maybe should have kept a little bit of an eye on that. I think I took more armour damage than I realised from the turrets early on, because we were basically using Vixen to soak up the damage. So, lesson learnt, keep your eye on that. But otherwise, everyone did superb. Bugbear, I think, absolutely the star of the match there. It's that Lost Tech, those impulses just absolutely run riot against the opposition. But everyone got kills, which is something I always like to see. In terms of salvage, we've got 2 parts for Trebuchet, so we'll take that. I'll take the LRM-15. I don't think I have many, if any, of those. I have plenty of SRM-6s now. So we'll take the Jägermech as well, and I'll take the Centurion. There we go. I think we go into a bit of a cutscene now. So we'll do the cutscene, and I'll do the mission preamble bit, and then I'll end the episode.
By the time our forces found him, it was too late. I'm sorry, Kamea. He was here all this time.
This was Lady Arano's mentor. He taught her how to pilot a mech. He was killed on the day that the Espinosa family took power. See him there in his Centurion. Nasty. That reminds me, I've just decided I'm going to do an Aurigan Reach force, and part of that force is a Kintaro and a Centurion. I did that symbolically because those are the 2 mechs that Lady Arano and Mastiff drive, or pilot, or whatever. Kamea, I'm so sorry. I know how much Mastiff meant to you. He was a friend and a mentor to us both. He was more than that. The old man was like a second father to me, and my uncle condemned him to waste away on this rock, to die, wretched and broken in agony. Your cousin did this, Lady Victoria. She told him she'd make him suffer. There's no coming back from what I've witnessed here today. The scale of the Directorate's cruelty is unimaginable. What they've done here is monstrous. It's inhuman. Our intel was wrong, Alexander. The icebox isn't a prison, it's a meat grinder. Gods, my own family is behind this. And what's left of mine has chosen to look the other way. It isn't an easy thing to wrap your head around, but try to remain focused. We've just liberated the Directorate's hostages. With a single blow, you've shattered your uncle's hold on the founding houses. The prisoners you've set free are already calling you the Sword of Restoration. We need to spread this message all the way to Koromadir, that's the capital world of the Aurigan Reach, to galvanise your supporters and weaken Espinosa's popularity there. Espinosa stole your throne at gunpoint. How much popularity could he have? More than you'd expect. Remember that Espinosa's first priority was the centralisation of power. That meant a tremendous growth in resources and infrastructure on the throne world. The citizens of Koromadir enjoy fewer personal freedoms than they once did, but their lives have greatly improved in a material sense, and people will forgive a great deal for security and comfort. With our victory on Weldry, we've all seen what happened to those who would not be bought or indoctrinated. Those who refused to kneel before a tyrant. We know what became of the people who were made to disappear, and soon enough the entire Reach will know it too. The momentum is on our side, Khmer. We need to take advantage of it. You're right, this isn't time for hand-rigging, but Alexander, you didn't see what I saw out there on the other end of the battlefield. The work crews, all hunched and broken, the graveyards, great fields of unmarked burial plots that stretched as far as the eye could see. Every time I blink I see it, the misery that was allowed to fester here. I can picture it well enough. I saw my fair share of human misery when I was freelancing on the frontier. I'm sure you did, but that was the lawless frontier before my uncle's coup. Weldry was part of the Aurigan coalition. We were better than this. This place is going to stay with these people for the rest of their lives. I'll do anything to be able to spare them that hurt, but I can't. Word of advice from an old veteran, Lady Arano. Focus on something you can do. Give us an order. Tell us to blow something up. Use your imagination. The key is you do something and you move on. Thank you, Chief Vitanen. I struggle with that name. You have a good crew, Oculus. I have an assignment for you and a reward for your service. The Argo appears on your view screen. She's in rough shape, but she appears to be space-worthy. For decades, the wreck site of the Argo was one of my father's most closely held secrets. When I sent you to retrieve her, I meant for her to serve as a symbolic purpose, a sign of rebirth and renewal, emblazoned with the Arano coromorant. It's another word I struggle with. Coromorant. It's a bird, isn't it? I cannot say it though. Cormorant. For all to see. I was naive. This is time for action, not symbols. And so, Oculus, I have decided that she will be yours to command. The Argo will serve as your new home, and she will fly your mercenary banner. Lord Madeira will join you to act as my liaison, and in return you will grow stronger, sharper, more flexible. You will hone your company to a razor's edge, one that I will hold to the Directorate first. In that case, congratulations. Directorate's throat, sorry. In that case, congratulations, you've got yourself a navy. If that's settled, then please come here, go back to the triage tent and get your wounds looked at. The conditions here are beyond unsanitary, and you'll be of no use to anyone if you're dying of some exotic infection. Our people can tend to the wounded. We need you strong for the fight ahead. I will, Alexander, but not yet. Assemble our people in the courtyard. There's something that I need to say. Here we go.
People of the Oregon Reach, I am Kamea Arano, and I have failed you. For 3 long years, Director Espinosa has imprisoned and starved and murdered our people. And where was I? Hiding in a palace, light years away, building support, planning. While the Directorate's secret police turned neighbor against neighbor, made your loved ones disappear, conscripted your children. I wasn't here. I didn't know. The crimes that I have witnessed here today are unforgivable. No doubt, Director Espinosa believes that the ends justify the means, that the Oregon Reach has been made strong. Well, I say that strength built on fear is brittle. The Directorate is a paper tiger, and I declare this restoration today to rally the true strength of our people, our resilience, and our freedom. Let Weldry be a call to arms. Join us, and together we will liberate the founding houses and retake Cormadir. Not because it is my birthright, but because the Directorate's crimes against you, the Oregon people, will no longer be tolerated. That is what I fight for, and I vow to fight for your freedoms to my dying breath.
So there we are. Battle cry is sounded. We have struck the first blow for the restoration. A little bit left here with because of the Argo, so I'll just read through all this and I'll end the video. Hello again, my mercenary friends. Before you officially take possession of the Argo, I wanted to introduce myself in person. We never really got a chance to meet properly on Axilus. Axilus is the moon of, or where the first priority mission takes place, and Dr. Farah Murad is, and her team basically get the Argo flying again. So, hi, I'm Dr. Farah Mahad, or just Farah if you prefer. It's nice to meet you all face to face. Yeah, Doc, you too. I'm going to call you Doc, by the way. You should probably go ahead and get used to it. It was impressive work you did getting the Argo flying. Between you and me, I had my doubts. Honestly, I did too. You should have seen what the Argo's interior looked like after a couple of 100 years of pirate occupation. Actually, I take that back. If you'd have seen what I saw, you would never have wanted to set foot inside. Take it from me, the ship has been deloused from bow to stern, and every metre of her has been hosed down with industrial-grade disinfectant. The clean is ship enough to eat off, I swear it. Clean is good, spaceworthy is better. Are you sure the Argo is ready for action? Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's here, isn't she? All the way from Lyerton, with nary a decompression event in sight. Don't worry, Commander, I wouldn't have endangered my new crewmates by putting them on an unsafe ship. I've got professional standards to maintain. Hear that, Yang? We're finally getting a shipboard engineer. That's good, because I don't have a clue how anything on this boat works. Frankly, I'm amazed that Doc Murad managed to get her flying at all. I'm still a little amazed myself. Only a little, because I'm very good at what I do, but it was kind of touch and go there for a while. Oh, and Darius, I'm sorry about all the shouting back on Axilus. As it turns out, getting shot up by pirates puts me on edge. No hard feelings. None at all. Keep this beat flying and you can yell at me as much as you want. Hell, I'm used to it. Welcome to the family. You too, Lord Madeira. I'd never imagined we'd be working together, but I'm glad to have this opportunity. As am I, Mr. Oliveira. Over the years of our exile, Lady Arano told me a great deal about you and your company, all of it good. Even before the events of the coup, she knew about Markham's marauders and your assistance in her father's Fraldar campaign did not go unnoticed. It was a job, Lord Madeira. We only did what Lord Tamati paid us to do. Still, it feels good to be appreciated and to know that someone out there still remembers Commander Mackham's name. You're a welcome addition to the Argo Lopodera. Thank you, Commander Durant. Speaking of which, you'll have some time to break your new ship in before Lady Rano is ready to move on Panzea. She needs to consolidate our forces on Weldry and replace our losses with fresh volunteers. You remember her orders, you had to sharpen your company and grow strong, and now that you have a mobile command centre worthy of the title, I suggest that you use it. I'll get a fresh batch of contracts to look over Lemuel. The whole Rimworld periphery is our oyster. We won't be limited by debts or travel restrictions. Exciting times, I gotta say. We better put that freedom to good use. It won't be long before Lady Rado comes calling. No, it won't. So let's quit talking and go explore our new ship. There's an absolutely enormous mech bay in there, and it's got my name written all over it. Damn right it does, Jan. You all heard him. Take your stations, everyone. We're free agents until Lady Rano calls on us, and there's money to be made. And that's it. So, okay, the Argo is not in good shape, Commander, but with time, money, and some of Chief Veteran's technical resources, we can address most of the major problems, maybe even make this place nice again. I'll be engineering if you want to know more. Lady Rano said she wanted us to get stronger. With these mech facilities, we finally have the resources to do that. Bring me scrap mechs from missions and shops, and I'll rebuild them into fighting machines. Remember, boss, when it comes to mechs, bigger is usually better. That's not true in BattleTech, but it is true in this game. And we get a big sight of the Argo now. There we are. I think. Yeah, there we are. Seems to be crashing my computer. But that's fine. There it is. So yeah, that's the Argo. And we have an engineering tab now, so we can actually make improvements to the Argo. The next episode I do will be a stock taking episode. And it will almost be like an auxiliary tutorial. And I'll talk about what to do in engineering, because it's not complex, but there are certain things that you can ignore and certain things that you really need. So when I do that like stock taking mission, I'll go through that and I'll do a random mission as well. And I will introduce you to all the new mech warriors that I've got in the barracks, because there are a few more, and I might even pick a few more up before I do the the stock taking episode. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because that was a long old episode, but very good. All went well. We've now got the Argo, so I think the ball is well and truly rolling. So I will hopefully catch you again in the next episode.